Hello, welcome to Prime Business with me, Pius Kojo Baka. In our very first story, a senior finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Benjamin Amwa, has challenged the Bank of Ghana to work more at reducing the cost of borrowing to propel private sector growth. According to him, despite some banks offering low interest rates on loans, managers of the economy must also take a look at the macroeconomic indicators. He believes when the macro indicators are right, banks will be compelled to reduce their rates further. He spoke to Joy Business.
Okay, so this is what the central bank must do. See, these rates that the banks are charging, the banks are not charging because they feel like charging it. It is a representation of the overall cost of doing business in the industry, especially when it comes to credit and deposit mobilization. So if BOG can work on reducing the cost of credit in terms of inflation, in terms of interest rate, then it will definitely trigger, because no bank will go and mobilize money at a particular rate and come and give it out at a low rate. The bank would not do that. So if we want to really see the rate declining sharply, we need to look at the macro again. Bank of Ghana works with Ministry of Finance. And so they have to make sure that the rates are low enough to drop down and to pull down the rate at which the banks are giving the facility. Because there's no way a bank will give out a credit facility when the MPC rate is around 27. It's going to be extremely difficult.
That's fine.
So they first have to work at it at their end, and then to trigger down into the banking sector. And then we, the retail clients, can benefit from it.
Former Finance Minister Seth Terkper has raised concerns over the rising interest on Ghana's debt following the recent Eurobond debt restructuring. According to him, the sinking fund was earmarked to cap the burden while providing leverage for the economy to expand through debt resettlement. He spoke to the media during a virtual press conference.
There's a precedent of something that works. You know, and the first is to go a begging and expect your debt to be forgiven, right? Or at least part of it to be forgiven. And then now you come back and your citizens will have a haircut. As a result, we lost confidence because of the haircuts and other things, which has occurred now, rebuilding that domestic bond market. And when we say that, oh, we've now finished the restructuring, we are back in the markets. Let's start, charity begins at home. Are we back in the Ghanaian market? We haven't been able to issue the bonds. At least we finished the domestic restructuring a long time ago. We are struggling to make the payments that are due. So we are not back in the Ghanaian market, right? Or if you then go to the Ghanaian market, that's how come treasury bill rates, the one we are relying on, those who suffer the bonds don't want to come back to the market, you know, started selling at 30%, and we just brought it back as a result of fund program money and others. You know, to 20, even then it's still 20s.
The Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana, ICAG, has renewed commitment to ensure that chartered accountants are not involved in any form of financial malfeasance or unprofessional accounting practices. This is to ensure that international standards are adhered to at various corporate and public institutions across the country. President of the Institute, Augustine Addo, gave the assurance after the second ICAG admission and graduation ceremony here in Accra.
Some members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana who were culpable in some form of unprofessional activities face sanctions as prescribed by the Institute Ethics. As many who graduated from the ICAG accountancy programs are expected to enter the job market, the Institute has assured of continued support to enhance their skills and improve the financial environment. Speaking to journalists after this year's second graduation and admission ceremony, President Augustine Addo hinted that ICAG will continue to sanction any member that is found culpable in any financial malfeasance through a process set up by the Institute.
We have withdrawn some licenses, we have suspended some licenses, we have imposed pecuniary penalty on some people, we have sent letters of rebuke and various items. And so we have 3 statutory committees, 1 on public practice, 1 on discipline, 1 on regulation. And if there is any complaint on any practitioner, a member, It goes to the various committees, they sit on it, and if merit is established, the various sanctions will be applied.
Guest speaker for the ceremony, Deputy Controller and Accountant General Emilia Osei, the Chi urged practitioners to be strict with the financial laws to avoid any malfeasance.
Those who are not chartered, obviously they are not professionals, and so they are not applying the professionalism that they have to. But institutions have the way they weed out these people. There are audit processes. If you are found out, the chairman said it, that's the president, your certificates, if you are qualified, will be taken away from you. And there are laws in this country that deal with malfeasance and stuff like that. So the law will definitely take its course. We see these on the Public Accounts Committee all the time. Those who have misappropriated are transferred or given to law enforcement agencies for action to be taken.
Business mogul and entrepreneur Dr. Oforisapon received an award as one of the best students for this year's Chartered Accountant program.
Away from the financial sector, the Minerals Income and Investment Fund is collaborating with the private sector to develop a salt value chain for the country to earn more from the resource. According to the Chief Executive for MIF, Nana Yao Krantin, the fund is aimed at creating an ultra-modern refinery and establishing a salt export jetty in Ada in the Greater Accra region to accelerate the growth of the salt value chain. He revealed the intention in an interview with journalists at a stakeholders conference organized by MIF. Here is more in this report.
The Minerals Income and Investment Fund, MEF, is currently the second majority shareholder in the Electrochem Salt project in the Greater Accra region. As part of moves to enhance the country's earnings on the mining industry, the fund is investing in all major mining firms. Speaking at the stakeholders conference in Accra, Chief Executive for MEF, Edward Nana Yao Krantin, disclosed that Ghana will become the mining hub for salt, hence the move to establish an ultra-modern refinery and an export jetty for the commodity.
We are looking at how we are looking at the possibility of investing in the refinery that they've already started. We are looking at the possibility of supporting them with the jetty that will allow export by sea. And then we're also making sure that in terms of corporate governance, they are also listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange next year. So these are things that we are working on. The Songo, they are passionate about Songo because in terms of environmental risk is low. At the end of the day, it's also employing more people. Songo could be employing about 24,000 people in the next 7 years, depending on how the value delivery process or setup is actually actualized. If you look at returns, Songo could be giving Ghana about $1 billion in the next, maybe within the next 4 years, 5 years.
Chief Executive for McDan Group, owners of the salt mining project, Daniel Macaulay, has assured that the country is capable of producing for the local market and more to be exported.
We intend doing close to 8 million metric tons, so we hope to be able to fill all the gaps and also export more than we need. I feel the government has to surely step in to stop the inferior salt being imported.
The theme for the conference was Minerals Value Addition and Value Chain Development Essential Tools for Ghana's Development.
The Institute of Energy Security, IES, has expressed its support for the growing calls to merge the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission and the Energy Commission of Ghana. This proposal, which has gained momentum among industry experts and policymakers, is viewed as a strategic move to streamline regulatory functions and eliminate overlaps in the oversight of the energy sector.
According to the IES, combining the two regulatory bodies will not only result in significant cost savings, but also enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of energy regulation in the country. The Institute believes that a unified body will better manage the complexities of Ghana's energy challenges, leading to improved outcomes for both consumers and industry stakeholders. The IES emphasized that merging the PURC and Energy Commission would strengthen policy formulation and implementation within the sector. It highlighted that the energy landscape in Ghana requires a more cohesive regulatory framework to address current challenges, including energy supply and pricing issues.
The second edition of Agrofusion Festival has ended at the Koforidua Park with the aim to inspire young people between the ages of 15 to 35, including persons with disability, to pursue fulfilling careers in agriculture and agribusiness. The festival featured a series of events, including a summit, an exhibition, launch of a book, and an award ceremony celebrating young innovators in agribusiness and agricultural technology, vocational education and training. Now, Edwin Kofi was at the Jubilee Park in Koforidua, where the event was hosted, and has come through with this report.
The Agrofusion Festival is part of the Ghana Grows Program, an initiative of MasterCard Foundation in partnership with the Springboard Roadshow Foundation. It serves as a platform to highlight innovations, products and services in these sectors, while changing the negative mindset that many young people have about these sectors. It brought together hundreds of young people with a focus on expanding access to markets and creating valuable networking opportunities. Comfort Okran, Executive Director of Springboard Roadshow Foundation, tells Joy News the two-day summit provided a unique space for policymakers, entrepreneurs, and industry experts to collaborate and discuss key policy issues affecting young men and women in agriculture, agribusiness, agriculture, technical, vocational, education and training, ATVET.
We're talking about the Ghana Grows Young Innovators Awards. As you know, Ghana Grows is an initiative of the MasterCard Foundation in partnership with the Springboard Roadshow Foundation. We have other partners like Limehouse, Meraki Arts, Access Human Capital, and in addition to Ghana Federation for the Disabled, as well as Ghana Psychological Association. And then these are people that we've worked over the year to look at how we can showcase the opportunities in the agriculture, agribusiness and ATVET spaces. We're not looking at just the production sector, we're looking at the extended value chain. So then young people across the nation between the ages of 15 to 35 would realize that there's opportunity to actually go through a whole career path in these areas. Additionally, if you are someone who is interested, why shouldn't we be interested in making sure that you are stable, you are in a viable job, you are in a job that you find exciting, and a job are thriving in. These are spaces, and that is agriculture, agribusiness, and then ATVET spaces.
She believes the program will serve as a platform to motivate young people into ATVET, agriculture and agribusiness enterprises.
We decided that let's look for young people who are thriving in that space to show them, to show their success stories. And therefore, as a start, we collated stories across the nation. We've got about 800 plus stories. From these stories, we whittled down to 200 stories in partnership with policymakers, ensuring that we understand the requisite policies that would make the various spaces, be it agriculture, be it agribusiness, be it ATVET, thrive, open up for people who are working in those spaces to see how they can take advantage of policy windows or can even push for requisite policies to be enacted to enable the space thrive.
One of the highlights of this year's festival was the launch of Changing Narratives, a book inspired by the mission of the Ghana Grows Program. The publication aims to reshape mindsets around agriculture and ATVET by highlighting 200 real-life stories of young women and persons with disabilities who are thriving in these sectors. It seeks to challenge the long-held perception of agriculture as a purely low-income, labor-intensive field and demonstrate that with resilience, discipline, and creativity, success is achievable even with limited resources. Kofi Sian, reporting for Joy News.
A reminder, you're still watching Prime Business. More mobility investors are seeking easier ways to move to more advanced countries to diversify their investment portfolios. Now, the move affords investors to seek easy visas, citizenship, and international financial services. The following report has more.
Research has shown that more mobility investors are working to expand their business interest beyond one country. Residence by investment programs, also known as Golden Visa programs, provide high net worth individuals with the option to relocate and the right to live, work, study, and receive healthcare in their new countries of residence. Being able to change residence to a suitable country or have multiple residences is an increasingly important aspect of international planning for private clients. Speaking to Joy Business at the Investment Migration West Africa Roadshow 2024, the consultant for Henley and Partners in Ghana, Grace Arthur, said more investors are using the program to expand their businesses.
If you look at the world, things are changing. The world's wealth is moving, and those who hold the wealth is moving along. And they seek global mobility. They want to be able to travel without seeking visas. If you take the Ghana passport, it's quite limiting, but it is not our fault. So if the businessman can afford, and they have a need for, and they have the lifestyle, and they want to build that legacy that gives all the benefits to their family members, why not?
Legal consultant for range development and a citizen of Grenada, Siobhan Lloyd recounted how President Akufo-Addo's visit to the Caribbean country has boosted investment drive between Ghana and Grenada.
This year, Grenada celebrated its 50th anniversary of independence, and your president was the guest of honor. So he led a high-level delegation to Grenada. During that visit, himself and Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell entered into a number of memorandum of understanding based on culture, trade, and education. And they also signed a visa-free waiver, so Ghanaians could visit Grenada visa-free, and the opposite. So there are existing diplomatic relations.
On this spot, the Executive Vice President of Mercan, D. Kadiri, highlighted how European countries, particularly Portugal and Europe, have become mobility investment destinations for many Africans.
One of the main key benefits for investor, it gives them the ability to live, work, study in Portugal. But one also of the main key benefit is that the physical requirement is only 7 days per year for a period of 5 years for you to be able to apply to citizenship. So the timeline to acquire a citizenship in the European Union is in fact the quickest path to citizenship in all of the European Union.
Chief Executive of the Upper Workspace, Erasmus Akong, is calling for tailored support in training and guidance to encourage entrepreneurship in Ghana. Speaking at the launch of the Entrepreneurship 101 program, he explained that this will be crucial in solving the country's unemployment situation. Here's more.
According to the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor, Ghana's entrepreneurship rate is about 25%. Like many African countries, Ghana faces significant economic challenges, including unemployment, poverty, and limited opportunities for growth. Entrepreneurship remains crucial in driving innovation and unlocking the country's economic potential. Speaking at the launch of Entrepreneurship 101 Roadshow, a program organized by Divine Innovation Hub in partnership with Heritage Christian College University, Chief Executive of the Upper Workspace, Erasmus Akon, noted that mentorship and coaching will be vital in unlocking the country's entrepreneurial potential.
The program by Divine Innovation Hub will help reduce youth unemployment in a way that many youth have ideas and they don't have directions. They need mentorship, they need coaching that will help them to refine their business ideas. We believe that most of the students after school will just be on the job market looking for jobs that they can't find. And so helping them to think entrepreneurial, helping them to have the business mindset, they will be able to come up with various solutions that the program is going to help them build viable business solutions that can address challenges within the economy and then be able to make a living out of it.
And I'd like to take you to the Ashanti region, where the medical screening conducted for commercial drivers in Kumasi has revealed alarming cases of high blood pressure. A former taxi driver provided vital health support to drivers at Old Tafo Trotro station, equipping them with devices for daily BP and sugar level checks. Now, such screening exercises for drivers have been described as essential proactive health interventions and road safety. Mohammed Nuruddin reports.
Healthy drivers guarantee safe and efficient transportation. However, medical conditions like low blood sugar or hypertension can lead to dizziness, fainting, or even heart attacks behind the wheel. Medical records show some drivers at the Tafo Trotro station have high BP. Ali Ibrahim is senior pharmacist at Top Care Hospital.
We are getting somewhere 180, 200, 250, which is very, very, very devastating. So, in fact, we have done more than 50 referrals to the clinic. I think the advice we are giving to the drivers is we will encourage them to do daily BP and then sugar monitoring. That is going to assist.
You will make sure we're going to give these machines out for free, okay? So that every morning you check and see your sugar is okay, your pressure is okay. Pressure is the main killer.
Drawing from his experience as a former driver, Chere Ibrahim, chief of BISA in New Jersey, emphasizes the crucial need for drivers to undergo regular health checks.
I used to be a driver like this, and I used to have drivers that work for me, and I know their situation. They don't have time for their health. They don't have time to go for checkups. So I have bring this to their doorstep so that every morning when they come, they can really check their status, whether they have a sugar or they have hypertension. And the moment they're able to catch it on time, they will be able to treat it. That's why I am here to do this. See, sometimes drivers, we don't take them serious. They are very important in our livelihood because every day they are the one traveling with us. All these people that go back and forth is drivers that take you back and forth. So when their health is not, on the top, or they are not in good health, sometimes it can create a problem.
Regular checkups can prevent accidents and ensure drivers reach their destination safely. The total devices donated to the drivers cost about $12,000. According to Chief Ibrahim, contributing to society has immense value.
Now, I think so far, adding them up, probably maybe, I know I have about 6 boxes of the strips that has 100 pieces in there. It's about 600, and then I have other items that has about 100 pieces, about 15 of them, which is 1,500. The machine that checks the diabetes, that's about 15 of them. And then the one that checks the pressure, that's about 15 of them. And it's a whole bunch of them. Come together, in all, it will be probably maybe $12,000, in all. So, but it's not about the money. It's about how they use it and the benefit they get out of it.
Drivers including Aminu Seidu and Anthony Edujemfi expressed relief that the devices arrived when they needed them most.
Personally, I wasn't aware of my own health status, but thanks to accessible devices, I can now monitor my BP and sugar levels regularly.
Muna gode ma Alhaji sai Allah kara mai iko Allah ciyaye shi.
I'm what of our station and say anopa biano wo bia amra am checking the pressure.
Drivers, please prioritize your health. Come and check your blood pressure and sugar levels daily. We will make regular announcements to remind you.
Ama wo bia hu say your machines officer wo bia am checking the pressure and the diabetes.
A report by Mohammed Nuruddin.
Thanks so much for being part of Prime Business for today. I am Pius Kojo Baka. Prime Sources next with Razak Musbao.